Plans to change the citizenship test are being discussed because it's, quote, too easy, unquote. The new director of the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services told the New York Times the test needs to be changed to the Trump-era 2020 version. In that version, to pass, you needed to answer 12 out of 20 correct. In 2008, to pass, you needed to answer correctly 6 out of 10 questions, regardless of age or country of origin. Now, Belinda Cuellar, the facility director of Su Casa Adult Daycare, regularly helps seniors 60 and older study for their naturalization test. She believes this change at their age can negatively impact their confidence.
They're going to get intimidated. They're going to think that it's not possible. They're going to want to just shut down and not want to go through with it.
Data shows during the Biden administration in 2022, more than 1 million people became U.S. citizens. That's one of the highest numbers on record. And USCIS reduced the huge backlog of naturalization applications by over 60% compared to the year before. The New World Screwworm is getting closer to the U.S.-Mexico border, and it threatens the Texas cattle industry. Border Report's Sandra Sanchez explains.
They soon come across the border and lead to an outbreak in our state.
U.S. Senator John Cornyn on Monday told fellow senators that the New World Screwworm is only a few hundred miles from the Texas border, and it could cause billions of dollars in damages to the cattle industry if it crosses from Mexico.
The case of New World Screwworm was reported less than 400 miles south of the U.S.-Mexico border.
The parasitic fly was first reported in Mexico in November and is making its way north. That's despite efforts by the U.S. government to stop it, including U.S. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins last month announcing during a visit to South Texas that the U.S. is spending over $8 million to launch planes from a Hidalgo County air base with sterile male screwworms to be dropped over infected zones in Mexico to stop the spread. If these flies cross the border, they could devastate the cattle industry, hurt wildlife, and even infect people and pets.
The New World Screwworm lays its eggs in the wounds of warm-blooded animals, particularly livestock. The larvae then burrow into the openings, creating infections that, left untreated, can cause animals to die within a week.
There's no vaccine, and that makes ranchers like Zapata County Judge Joe Rathmel worried.
But now the major concern is hopefully the screwworm won't make it our way. It would place a big hurt on any ranchers trying to handle cattle down here. And certainly wildlife would be susceptible to large infections, and certainly a large, especially the male bug population would be in peril if it does get here.
Rathmel says South Texas ranchers still must test cattle for fever ticks, but screening and treating for screwworms is more than they can handle.
Reports of the flies now only 300 miles away from the border is certainly bringing attention.
Texas is the #1 cattle producing state. Cornyn says if the New World Screwworms arrive on U.S. soil, it could cost the country's economy $3.7 billion. Sandra Sanchez, Border Report.